Your body glows, jellyfish live forever, and lightning's hotter than the sun. These wild facts will leave you speechless. In the dark, hidden chambers of a cave in southern France, a child left a message. Not one written in words or symbols, but a handprint. Pressed into soft limestone over 30,000 years ago, this mark is still there today, frozen in time. And it's not just one. Dozens of hand stencils, some from children, others from adults, line the walls of Chauvet Pont d'Arc Cave like a prehistoric gallery. Scientists believe these were created by blowing pigment over a hand pressed to the rock, leaving a negative image that's haunting in its clarity. This cave, sealed off by a landslide thousands of years ago, was only rediscovered in the 1990s. And what was found inside stunned archaeologists. Lifelike paintings of lions, rhinos, mammoths, and bears, alongside this very human detail. A child's hand with a slightly crooked finger. The level of detail in these images is so advanced, it's closer to Leonardo da Vinci than stick figures. They even used natural curves in the walls to create a 3D illusion. But here's the twist. One of the handprints matches the proportions of a boy no older than 10. It means this wasn't just an adult ritual site. Children were there, participating, creating, watching. The caves echo with the idea that maybe, just maybe, art was always part of us. Something humans didn't invent, but were born to do. And this makes that simple handprint far more than a smudge. It's a connection, a bridge across 300 centuries. Not just a trace of someone who once lived, but of someone who felt. Someone who wanted to leave something behind. Not a name, not a number, just a hand on the wall of the earth. They're smaller than a grain of salt and look like they crawled out of a science fiction movie. Meet the tardigrade, also called the water bear. A creature so tough, scientists once blasted it into outer space. And it came back alive. No suit, no oxygen, no protection from deadly radiation. Just floating out there, frozen in the vacuum of space. And it survived. Tardigrades don't just survive extreme cold. They've been boiled, frozen, zapped with massive radiation doses, dehydrated for years, and even exposed to pressure over 6 times what's found in the deepest ocean trench. Still alive. Their secret? When the environment gets extreme, they shut themselves down. They dry out, fold into a tight ball, and enter a state where all biological activity nearly stops, like hitting pause on life itself. And when conditions improve, they wake up and keep going. Some have been revived after over 30 years in this dry, frozen state. Scientists are now studying tardigrades to understand how they pull off this trick, and whether humans might one day benefit from their strange biology. The next time someone asks which animal is the toughest on Earth, just smile and say, it's the one you can barely see. You've probably heard the classic line, there are more stars in the sky than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. But here's something that flips the script completely. There are more trees on Earth than stars in our galaxy. Astronomers estimate there are about 100 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. That's a mind-breaking number, no doubt. But a 21st century global tree count found something even more staggering. Earth is home to roughly 3 trillion trees. That's over 400 trees for every person alive. And they're not just sitting pretty. Trees breathe in carbon dioxide, give us oxygen, cool cities, house wildlife, and even influence rainfall patterns. The fact that Earth can outnumber an entire galaxy in living organisms rooted in soil, not sky, speaks volumes about the complexity of our own planet. From ancient forests in the Amazon to single pines clinging to rocky cliffs in California, trees are Earth's silent giants. And we're only just beginning to understand how deeply connected they are to our climate, health, and survival. Some creatures live for decades, some for just a few hours. But there's one tiny animal that figured out how to cheat death entirely. Meet Octopuses dohrnii, better known as the immortal jellyfish. When threatened by starvation, injury, or even old age, this jellyfish doesn't die. It transforms. It reverts its cells back to an earlier stage of life, like rewinding a biological tape. Instead of going forward into decline, it moves backward. Its adult cells reshape into young ones, starting the life cycle all over again. It's like a butterfly, turning back into a caterpillar, and then doing it again, and again. Potentially forever. Scientists are still unlocking how this microscopic creature pulls off what seems impossible. If we understood how to copy this biological reset, it could rewrite everything we think we know about aging, medicine, and regeneration. It's not a fantasy, it's a real jellyfish, floating right now in the oceans of the world, quietly breaking every rule of life and time. All around us, hidden in plain sight, is a number that seems to shape life itself. It's called the golden ratio, and it's approximately 1.618. That number might not mean much at first, but once you know where to look, it's everywhere. In the spirals of seashells, the pattern of sunflower seeds, the structure of hurricanes, even the shape of galaxies. The golden ratio shows up in your own body too. The proportions between parts of your face, your fingers, even the length of your forearm to your hand often match this mysterious ratio. It's found in DNA, in the way double helixes twist, and in the branching of veins and lungs. Nature seems to favor this ratio not because it's pretty, but because it's efficient. It allows for maximum growth, balance, and strength with minimal waste. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci used it. Architects design with it. But nature? Nature was using it long before we even had words for numbers. It's like the universe has a hidden blueprint, and that pattern is written into everything, including you. It sounds like science fiction, but it's real. Your body gives off light, not metaphorically, literally. Scientists in Japan used ultra-sensitive cameras in a completely dark room and captured tiny bursts of visible light coming off human bodies. This light isn't thermal like infrared. It's visible light, just like the glow of a firefly, only much, much dimmer. The glow comes from biochemical reactions within your cells. When certain molecules react with oxygen, tiny particles of light, called photons, are emitted. It's called ultra-weak photon emission, and every single person emits it. The brightest areas? Your face, especially around the forehead, cheeks, and neck. But there's a twist. Your body's glow actually changes throughout the day. You shine the most in the late afternoon, and the least just before sunrise. We can't see this glow because it's about 1,000 times weaker than the human eye can detect. But it's there. Right now, you are glowing, not like a superhero, more like a silent light bulb powered by biology. And knowing that makes the ordinary body feel just a little more extraordinary. It's thinner than a human hair, but tougher than steel by weight. Spider silk is one of the strongest natural materials on Earth, and it's made by an animal no bigger than a coin. Scientists have tested it in labs and confirmed, ounce for ounce, some types of spider silk are tougher than Kevlar, the same material used in protective gear. It can stretch, absorb energy, and snap back into shape without breaking. So what gives it this incredible strength? It comes down to structure. Spider silk is made of protein strands with a combination of stiff, crystal-like regions and flexible chains. It's the perfect mix of hard and soft, giving it both durability and stretch. When a spider spins a web, it doesn't just make a trap, it creates a high-tech net that can stop fast-flying insects mid-air without snapping. That's why researchers are working to replicate it, not just for body armor, but for medical sutures, flexible electronics, and even building materials. The catch? We still can't make it as well as spiders do. No machine has matched the precise way they spin silk, one of the most advanced materials in nature made without fire, force, or factories. Just instinct and millions of years of quiet engineering. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, there's a place so remote, the nearest humans are often astronauts in orbit. It's called Point Nemo, and it's the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, the spot farthest from any land on Earth. It's more than 1,600 miles from the nearest islands in any direction. No people live there, no planes fly over it, and few ships ever pass through. Just endless, silent water stretching to every horizon. Point Nemo is so isolated, space agencies use it as a spacecraft cemetery. When satellites or space stations reach the end of their mission, they are steered to crash into this watery graveyard, far from civilization. Over 250 pieces of space debris have ended their journey there, including parts of Russia's Mir station and several defunct cargo crafts. And if you thought it was just empty ocean, think again. The deep sea beneath Point Nemo is one of the least explored regions on the planet. Some scientists believe life there may be unlike anything we've seen, surviving in cold, crushing darkness for millions of years. In fact, strange sounds have been recorded near this spot, including the legendary deep-sea bloop noise once mistaken for a massive sea creature. The ocean keeps its secrets well, and Point Nemo might be the loneliest, most mysterious corner of it all. Beneath the surface of every forest, there's an invisible network that rivals the complexity of the internet. Trees and plants don't just sit quietly in the soil, they communicate. Not with sound or sight, but through underground connections made by fungi. This living network is known as the mycorrhizal web, or more casually, the Woodwide Web. Here's how it works. Fungi connect to plant roots and form long, thread-like structures called hyphae. These threads stretch out and link with the roots of other plants, creating vast underground networks. Through these fungal highways, trees can share nutrients, send warning signals, and even support struggling neighbors. When one tree is under attack from pests or disease, it can release chemical signals that travel through the network, alerting nearby plants to prepare their defenses. Some trees even send extra resources to their own offspring, favoring their children through this silent system. It's a mind-bending concept. Forests that behave less like groups of individual trees and more like cooperative communities, all connected by an ancient alliance with fungi. And this isn't fantasy. It's backed by modern biology, field experiments, and molecular studies. So the next time you walk through a forest, know this: the ground beneath your feet isn't just dirt. It's buzzing with life, with messages and nutrients traveling invisibly in all directions, like nature's own secret internet. When you think of ancient life on Earth, dinosaurs probably come to mind. But there's a creature that predates them, and even goes back before the first tree ever took root. Sharks. These ocean predators have been swimming through Earth's waters for over 400 million years. Trees? They didn't show up until about 50 million years later. That means sharks were already thriving when the land was mostly covered in low-lying ferns and mosses. They survived 5 mass extinctions, including the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. And while other species rose and fell, sharks kept adapting, some shrinking, some growing, some evolving into bizarre shapes we still discover today. Fossils show that early sharks didn't look too different from some modern ones. Their teeth, made of nearly indestructible material, are still found in cliffs and seabeds across the world. One extinct species, Megalodon, had teeth the size of a human hand and a bite force stronger than a T-Rex. Sharks have outlived empires, mountain ranges, and whole geological eras. They are survivors in the purest sense, and they've been patrolling the oceans since long before the first forest shaded the land. They may not rule the land, but in the sea they've held the crown for hundreds of millions of years. In the shadow of the pyramids and buried deep within Egypt's ancient tombs, archaeologists have uncovered skulls that don't quite match the human norm. These elongated skulls, stretched, smooth, and unusually shaped, have sparked debate for decades. Were they the result of cultural rituals, or is there something stranger going on? Some scholars point to cranial binding, a practice seen in ancient societies from Africa to South America. It involves wrapping a child's head tightly in cloth during early growth, reshaping the skull over time. It was often done for status, beauty, or religious reasons. And yes, some of the elongated skulls found in Egypt could be explained this way. But not all of them. A few skulls have features that seem too unusual, like missing cranial sutures, larger than average brain volume, or bone structures unlike those of typical humans. These traits don't easily fit with the results of binding. And here's where the mystery deepens. Similar skulls have been found across the globe, in regions with no contact between cultures. Some believe these individuals may have held elite or spiritual roles, possibly even being seen as otherworldly figures by their societies. Others have gone further, suggesting connections to ancient legends or beings not of this earth. While there's no verified evidence for anything beyond human explanation, the debate remains alive. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, none of it was born on Earth. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a dying star. Long before Earth existed, ancient stars exploded in supernovae, blasting their heavy elements across the galaxy. Those scattered remnants drifted through space, clumped into clouds, and eventually formed planets, oceans, and us. Scientists have confirmed it. About 97% of the atoms in the human body come from stardust. Elements like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus didn't just appear out of nowhere. They were created in cosmic furnaces under extreme pressure and temperature, then launched across the universe like glitter from a cosmic firework. When Carl Sagan said, "We are made of star stuff," it wasn't poetry, it was physics. You carry the ashes of stars in every breath you take and every heartbeat you feel. The next time you look at the night sky, just remember, you're not just looking up at space, you're looking into your own past. The stars aren't far away, they're already part of you. Deep beneath a mountain in northern Mexico lies a hidden chamber that looks like it belongs on another planet. It's called the Nika Crystal Cave, and inside are some of the largest natural crystals ever found, some over 30 feet long and weighing more than 55 tons. They're so massive you can walk between them like trees in a frozen forest. The cave was discovered accidentally in the year 2000 by miners drilling for silver. What they found instead was a blistering hot chamber filled with selenite crystals formed over hundreds of thousands of years. The temperature inside can reach 136 degrees with nearly 100% humidity. So extreme that scientists can only stay inside for minutes at a time without special cooling suits. What makes it even more mysterious is how the crystals grew. The cave was once filled with mineral-rich water, heated by volcanic activity deep underground. Over time, molecules in the water slowly stacked into enormous structures, like nature building skyscrapers, molecule by molecule. Today, the cave is sealed off to protect these fragile giants from damage and exposure. It's a reminder that some of Earth's most alien landscapes aren't out in space. They're right beneath our feet, hiding in the dark. Scattered across North America, old reports speak of something strange buried in the earth. Enormous human skeletons, many over 7 feet tall, uncovered in burial mounds and ancient tombs. Newspapers from the 1800s and early 1900s recorded these finds in places like Wisconsin, Ohio, and West Virginia. Some remains were said to have massive jaws, double rows of teeth, or oversized skulls. They were often found alongside tools, jewelry, and pottery, suggesting a culture both advanced and lost. So what happened to them? That's where the mystery deepens. Many of these skeletons were reportedly sent to museums or scientific institutions, including the Smithsonian, but today, few physical specimens remain. Official explanations chalk these stories up to exaggeration, misidentified animal bones, or tall individuals mistaken for something more. Yet some researchers argue that not all the finds can be dismissed so easily. Skeptics say it's folklore. Others believe there may be something deliberately buried, not just in the ground, but in the records. Either way, the legend of the giants' graves refuses to die. Whether misunderstood history or something genuinely mysterious, these towering skeletons still raise a towering question. Did we once share this land with people very different from us? Or are we chasing shadows of stories too old to prove, yet too persistent to ignore? It lasts less than a second. It flashes from the sky in silence, then cracks the air with a roar. And yet, in that brief moment, a bolt of lightning releases a force so intense, it reaches temperatures of up to 54,000 degrees, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Lightning isn't just electricity, it's raw plasma tearing through the atmosphere. When storm clouds build up enough electrical charge, they create a massive voltage difference between the cloud and the ground, or even between clouds. That energy breaks through the air, superheating it instantly and creating a narrow channel of ionized gas. The heat expands the air so fast it creates a shock wave. That's the thunder you hear. Each strike carries up to 1 billion volts of electricity and can light up the sky for miles. And it doesn't always strike just once. Some bolts hit the same spot multiple times in rapid succession. Lightning can split trees, melt metal, and carve glass-like tubes into sand called fulgurites. We think of fire and lava as nature's most intense forces, but lightning is on another level. Brief, unpredictable, and far more powerful than it looks. It's a reminder that even in something we've all seen, nature still hides extremes beyond belief. High above Saturn's North Pole spins one of the strangest weather systems in the solar system. A perfect 6-sided storm that has baffled scientists since it was first seen. It's called Saturn's hexagon, and it's nearly 20,000 miles wide, large enough to fit 4 Earths across. Unlike anything on our planet, this geometric hurricane has been swirling for decades, maybe even centuries. The shape isn't an illusion or a fluke of photography. It's a real sharp-edged hexagon of clouds, with each side nearly straight and angles that stay locked in place as the whole system spins like a giant wheel. At its center, a dark circular vortex acts as Saturn's north polar hurricane. The winds whip around at over 200 miles per hour, forming this surreal polygon in the upper atmosphere. Scientists believe it's caused by fluid dynamics, waves of different speeds colliding in the atmosphere and forming standing patterns. But even with advanced models, we still can't replicate its perfect symmetry here on Earth. The storm isn't static either. NASA's Cassini spacecraft captured changes in color and texture over time, hinting at mysterious seasonal effects. It's like nature designed a giant spinning symbol in the clouds, one that defies everything we thought we knew about planets and weather. While Jupiter shows off its great red spot, Saturn quietly hosts a storm shaped like geometry itself. If aliens exist in the ocean, they probably look like octopuses. With their soft, shape-shifting bodies and ability to squeeze through impossibly small gaps, these sea creatures are already strange. But their biology takes it even further. Octopuses don't just have one heart, they have three. Two of those hearts pump blood to the gills, while the third heart sends oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. But here's the twist. When an octopus swims, that main heart stops beating. It's part of why octopuses prefer crawling over jetting through the water. They literally tire themselves out with every burst of speed. And then there's the blood itself. It's not red like ours, it's blue. That's because octopuses use a copper-based molecule called hemocyanin to carry oxygen, instead of iron-rich hemoglobin. This gives their blood a bluish tint and helps them survive in deep, cold waters where oxygen is scarce. Combined with their ability to change color, solve puzzles, escape from locked tanks, and even mimic other animals, octopuses are easily some of the most bizarre and brilliant creatures on the planet. They don't just defy expectations, they rewrite the rules of what life can be. Your skeleton might feel solid and permanent, but it's actually one of the busiest parts of your body. Every day your bones are breaking down and rebuilding themselves, quietly, efficiently, without you ever noticing. In fact, about every 10 years, you get an almost entirely new skeleton. This process is called bone remodeling, and it's driven by two types of cells: osteoclasts, which break down old or damaged bone tissue, and osteoblasts, which build fresh bone in its place. It's not just maintenance, it's a full-time upgrade system. Your body strengthens areas under pressure, reshapes bones to adapt to new stresses, and constantly corrects tiny cracks before they turn into problems. And it starts early. In childhood, bones grow fast and are replaced even quicker. But even in adulthood, the system keeps working, replacing about 10% of your skeleton every year. If it didn't, bones would become brittle, unstable, and prone to injury. It's easy to think of bones as static, like concrete, but the truth is closer to a high-tech building that's always being reinforced from within. Silent construction crews working around the clock, repairing, reshaping, and making sure the structure holds strong, no matter what life throws at it. That's about it. What facts surprised you the most? Write in the comments. For more useful information, watch other videos.